My name is Jamie Crombie. I'm the Director of Supply Chain Planning at Delicato Family Wines. The company's been around for almost 100 years now, and really a long history, family-owned throughout, and has really grown quite a bit. We were getting ready to transition into a new production and distribution facility. We had some high inventory levels that we needed to get under control in order to fit the space, especially knowing that we had some good growth in front of us. We just saw it as an opportunity to streamline and get back to standard functionality. The biggest thing was the focus around, standard functionality of SAP and really leveraging that standard functionality. Reveal's approach really honed in on that, educating and leveraging that standard functionality, which seems unique. What stood out to me was, just thinking about the planning and buying area and the amount of past due elements we had in the system. We could see there was a lot of opportunity for cleaning up master data and using areas of master data that we weren't using. Seeing that people were doing things differently and not really having one standard process across. During the transformation phase, we had good representation across the supply side of the organization. All of the supply chain planning team, the procurement, direct buying side of the team, master data, customer service, and compliance as well. And then in addition to IS, of course. And then throughout the project, we would also bring in folks from, either operations and bottling or wine processing or quality or finance and accounting as needed, depending on the topics or the areas within SAP function that we were reviewing. So the education was really important up front to get everyone onto the same page and start out at the baseline level and really get everyone up to speed together. When we started out the initiative, we had started out with that education to get everyone onto the same page, and as we were educating ourselves, and Reveal was helping us with that, we would kind of take that information and think about, well, how does that compare to our current business process, around that area? And then we would, then need to understand, well, why are we doing it that way? And is there a way that it could be done better? The master data piece was really important throughout. The methodology really helped us expand how we look at it. Prior to the initiative, we were pretty diligent about a specific set of master data that we would maintain, but after going through the education and throughout the initiative, we really learned how much more we could do with master data and how important it was to keep it updated. It's not always a set it and forget it type of situation, that you want to be continuously looking at it and continuously updating it if things are changing in the environment, and are things changing in the way that you're working with a particular vendor. It's that continuous optimization. It's not just our master data team that needs to care and put attention on master data. It's everyone on the team needs to understand how the master data is telling the system to behave. Exception management is a huge win. We have about 600 or 700 SKUs that we make and sell, and within that there's different segments and categories, and all of them behave a little bit differently. And so being able to exception manage is really critical for each of the team members to come in each day and know exactly what they should put attention on. We're trying to set the team up to be able to have that support for them, to let the system help guide them. Yeah, change management played a really big role here. We were talking about change management from the beginning at the leadership level, just thinking through, what this, especially given the goals of what we want to accomplish throughout the initiative. We're really asking everyone to take a look at how they're doing their job at the time, and looking at new ways of doing it, and maybe utilizing the system a lot more than some people might have been. And especially when you've got that education piece in front of you before you get to that point, it does require just a lot of attention on change management. We've seen good improvements in communication, and this has kind of helped us in a couple of ways. One way was to see, even across, multiple areas of the organization, not just within supply chain, but what we're doing, how it impacts, the area of quality, or maybe in compliance. I think the other way is just understanding how SAP can help us with that communication. When we rely on SAP as the system, as our single source of truth, we know that if we're getting the right information into the system, that folks throughout the organization that access that same system are getting the right data or the right signals. We have added regular, whether it be regular meetings or huddles that now involve more key areas that might not have been involved before. The OVO methodology has been a great tool and for the team, alongside educating all of the functionality in SAP. It's really teaching us to align our actual system data with our business behaviors. That whole methodology is really effective in letting the team understand why, and then start to talk about, well, then what do we need to do with the system data in order to reflect what we're actually doing? Or instead, do we need to question, should we be doing something different with our business behavior? One of the big takeaways was how we need to understand the why behind our business processes. So when we started out the initiative, we had started out with that education to get everyone onto the same page. And as we were educating ourselves, and Reveal was helping us with that, we would kind of take those that information and think about, well, how does that compare to our current business process, around that area? And then we would, then need to understand, well, why are we doing it that way? And is there a way that it could be done better? That was definitely eye-opening for folks that aren't used to asking that, and just helped encourage the need for that, because in order to leverage, getting back to leveraging standard functionality, in order to leverage that, we may have had to make a change in our business process and then get everyone aligned to do so. We came out of it at the end with so many improvements and successes. Some of the results we achieved were definitely time savings, getting back to exception management. That's been a big time savings for folks to be able to let the system signals drive what to focus their time on, being able to group material purchases together, and also track information ahead of deliveries. We were very successful in optimizing our inventory. We have gotten a much more systematic approach to planning out our bottling schedule, and that's been a big win for the team. I have a very high level of trust in Reveal. The relationship between the Delicato team and the Reveal team really evolved, in my mind, to be very much like a family. From the beginning, it was very clear that just Reveal has come to this initiative to help us achieve our goals, and always did whatever they could to help us keep on track with those. So nothing but trust for the team.